Hello YouTube, it's 4:02 p.m. Still December 1st, 2022. And wow, I just got my exercise. So as you saw, I made really good time with that Route 32 being late. Worked out well in my favor. It showed up shortly after I arrived at the bus stop. App allowed me to know that was going to work out. Wow. Look at this guy. He's just sitting there, not moving forward. The red SUV is honking at him, but that guy is... Nope, now he's doing a really sketchy lane change. And now he's going to cut off the RV. Yo, asshole and brown car. You need to know what lane you're going to before you get to the intersection. Don't be a fucking traffic hazard like you just fucking were. Not cool. Man, I really think everybody who makes a mistake like that should be forced to give me their car for the next 24 fucking hours. Now, they shouldn't be deprived transportation. They should pay me a day's wages, and I should drive them around. And hopefully at the end of that 24 hours, they'll have some fucking clue about how to drive a car and navigate in the city of Phoenix. Oh, I'm sick of this shit. All right, so yeah, I got on the 32 pretty quick, and shortly after I sat down, there was a guy that commented that he goes, this transit's not really synchronized here, is it? And then the bus driver was like, well, I think it is. And I just jumped right in. I'm like, no, not at all. And proceeded to tell him the story of what my ride home is like from Bullock's on Friday, when the powers that be have determined that they need to run a holiday schedule on that Friday. News flash. Powers that be, if you're listening. People who ride transit, most of us don't get the luxury of having holidays off. In fact, most of us have to work extra on holidays so that you people have... so that you people in positions of power with money have somebody to drive your Uber, or to serve your drinks, or to cook your burger, or to check you out at the grocery store, or to stock that grocery store and make sure you have groceries the next day that isn't a holiday. I don't think it's too much that we ask that our fucking transit keeps running on those days, because we have to keep running on those days. Seriously. No more fucking holiday schedules. Not until something happens that absolutely everybody gets holidays off. But ask yourself, if everybody got holidays off, how much would those holidays suck? I mean, seriously. Imagine how much celebrating would really be happening on New Year's Eve if absolutely every single bar and restaurant and club and store was closed all day on the 31st and the 1st. Because honestly, that's the only situation that makes holiday fucking transit schedules tenable for all of us that do have to work, so that those of you that got the luxury of not working on those days can go have a good time. Seriously, can we have some buses? I don't think I'm asking for much. All right. I want to say I'm done with this rant, but I'm not. So anyway, but although for the record, I could be at Bullock's right now at a little bit after 4. I'm the one that's choosing to stand out here and rant. In fact, I think I'm just going to go for a little walk to let off steam and kind of so you can see Bullock's in the viewfinder. I'm about there. So I'm proceeding to tell him about how, which has been my last 2 Fridays, rolling a Sunday schedule. You know, how I get off work at 2:30 in the morning, but on a normal Friday it sucks, because I have to wait an hour and a half until the next bus runs, until the next bus runs down the street, down Bethany Home Road. But as if that isn't bad enough, they give me an extra hour and 15 minutes to have to wait on a Saturday schedule. But wait, it gets worse. I said, now that bus that I'm not able to catch until 5:15 in the morning, which is nearly 3 hours after I get off work. Nearly. It gets me to the light rail, And I only got about a 10-15 minute wait at the light rail, so not bad. But that light rail gets me to, and I had a great visual aid because at this point we were on the 32, which, as I was explaining, as I get on it, there's no connection there. There's no light rail station there at 32nd Street in Washington. The next one is over at Gateway Community College, which there's not a bus route at Gateway Community College. I mean, I get putting a transit stop there. I get that. That's a nice thing. But for holy shit, those dogs are angry. But I bet that place don't get broken into. I get that there should be transit, transit there for students, if they go to college there. But there's not a bus route there. To be technical, there's not even really a street there. I mean, they say it's 38th Street, but that's just an entrance to the park and ride. Now you can take it straight through to Van Buren, but it's technically it's not a city street. It's a it's a private parking lot or public parking lot, depending on your perspective of it. I think the bulk of it's owned by Gateway Community College, Maricopa County Community Colleges. So it's wow, look at this. The bars weren't enough. They've had to add wood. And that's not even a private yard. That's this is private property. That's the Royal Inn. I walked by the other day. The video that I had about the I-17 road, frontage road being hostile to pedestrians. Now you can see what it looks like in the daytime. Yeah, no sidewalk, grass. As I stated then, it's some muddy grass. And all these apartments that I'm here on the right, this is the street that they have an address on. This is, if they're not driving, this is the street that they have to travel to get to whatever transit they're trying to get to. So I guess if you can enter this entrance, not too terrible bad, but if you have to go beyond this is where I was trying to traverse a ditch and muddy whatever. And there's a stump. That's helpful. I mean, you'd almost think that maybe the people that own this property would put a walkway right where I'm walking to connect to these walkways that connect to their apartments. But instead, no, they just overly water the grass to make these big muddy puddles like this. And then the residents have nowhere to walk once they get to the edge of the property here. As you see, there's drainage and there's the culvert where it goes underneath the driveway. So, infrastructure for cars, but not for people. A lot of that. Anyway, where was I? So I'm explaining to the guy as we're getting off. So that 32nd Street bus has to go down Washington. Instead of there being a light rail stop at 32nd Street where it could, where it could continue, or where you could transfer to rail to right to the rail, you've got to go nearly a mile out of your way to Gateway Community College, transfer there. So that's where I was, and he got off as well there. And I was explaining to him how as I'm approaching there, I'll use the app with its GPS, real-time tracking to see where my bus is. And they've scheduled it in such a way that bus at 44 northbound that leaves, mind you, it's not like it's coming from somewhere else. It leaves. So the majority of its passengers probably transferring from light rail. But it leaves just before the light rail gets there. So much so that as you're at Gateway Community College, the next train stop away, which mind you is less than a mile from the 44th Street station. It's 3/4 of a mile from the 44th Street station. You can see that at that time the bus is there, and then as you pull away, he pulls away, and as you're arriving on the platform at 44th Street, you can see in the tracking that he is crossing Washington and on his way to Van Buren. That way, when you get off the platform, he's less than a half mile past you. You've missed him, and you've got a 30-minute wait. Fuck you for not having a car. Yeah, that's the message that everybody without a car is getting from the city of Phoenix. Fuck you for not having a car. So yeah, it doesn't work. And the guy was just like kind of dumbfounded by that. Well, this is the when I was doing that walk, when I was doing that video Thursday night, this is the sidewalk that I could barely see because it's dark. There's no street lighting here. And that is the hole. When I commented I almost fell in a hole, that is the hole. Yeah, that is some seriously unsafe pedestrian infrastructure. And as you can see, I don't know what the speed limit is, but the cars going down this access road freaking fly. And it is a narrow access road, so the cars are flying right next to the sidewalk that terminates into a dangerous hole. All right, on we go. Let's go this direction. See, I explained that, and then at that point I was just telling him about the transit app, and telling him, hey, nothing. All the routes are like that. It's and half the time they're not on time. That at least, but sometimes that can be to your advantage. And I told him that, had I not had the transit app to see that the bus that I got on with him was running 10 minutes late, I would have missed that as well. But I was able to see that it was running 10 minutes late, so it worked out perfect for me. Because, sometimes that's can be to your advantage. You really need to get the app so you can see what's going on and see when the bus is there. And I opened it up so he could see it. And I showed him, I showed him the bug, how we were on the plane platform and how it only shows you trains going in one direction. And of course it showed all the trains going in the direction that we weren't going. So, so he got a little taste of that. And we just ran out of sidewalk again. Sorry, I'm still coughing. In order to make that transfer the bus I was on, I had to literally sprint a little over a quarter of a mile. And I'm getting to that. All right, we have a stray dog. Not cool. Yeah, I'm just going to let him have the sidewalk. At least stray dogs keep him to himself. That's cool. I got a little bit of a sidewalk here. I can almost guarantee that this sidewalk was put in by the property owner, not the city. If every property owner cared enough about pedestrians to do that, we wouldn't have this problem of walking on their gravel because there's not a sidewalk. Oh, Jesus. So anyway, kind of showed him how that worked, and when I clicked on it, it immediately went to the screen where it shows the route, and it says tracking not available for this vehicle. And I kind of explained to him what that means about how, if the bus is supposed to be showing up reasonably soon, and you see that, that's your clue that bus probably isn't going to show up and isn't actually running. And told him how there's a thing in Phoenix where a lot of times buses that should be running, for whatever reason, aren't running. Shortage of drivers, some mishap along the way, the bus broke down, what have you. It's not an occasional thing. It happens a lot. So anyway, showed him that, and he'll be like, well, that's, there you can see where the route's actually going, but, oh, what a cute cat. What's up, kitty? The cat is adorable. But I can't hug every cat. Anyway, so yeah, he, and I told him, I said, when you see that, you need to kind of look at the route and see, are you near where the route started? Where the route is starting? Because if not, that's your clue that bus is not actually coming, and you should probably figure out something else. And you need to, look and see and realize you got a good chance that's what's not going to show up. So look and see when the next one is scheduled, because that's probably the one you're going to end up being on if you don't have the option of walking to another route. And he's just looking at me like, damn. I'm like, yeah, but I show him the icon. I said, don't know this will show you what's going on. But yeah, transit's horrible here. And the people that do the scheduling obviously give zero shits about the people that actually use it. All right, got a little sidewalk again. Wow, I love their landscaping here. Nice. God, still coughing up phlegm. So anyway, about that time, the train showed up, and he's like, I think I'm going the other direction. So he didn't. No, actually, he did get on the train. He sat down, but then I said, we need to get to the other side of the platform, because that's where the train picks us up at. He sat down there. He goes, I think I'm going the other direction. But I did notice him get up and get on. Like when the train showed up, he kind of walked up and got on it. And so, well, I'm kind of going in circles back to where I was going. Getting myself on the other side of the road here. So, wow, looks like a couple of somebody's had a good time. All right, so anyway, so yeah, the train showed up pretty quick, so that worked out nicely. Certainly nicer than, even though it took me notably out of my way going south on a bus that goes south and then turns east when I in fact was heading northwest. But yeah, I transferred the train quickly, and that got me up to Christown in a reasonably decent amount of time. First thing I checked when I got on the train was, is my connection going to work at Bethany? And it showed it wasn't. It showed it wasn't going to work by about 3 or 4 minutes, which is, yeah, there's a lot of that. With, as I just explained, I mean, that's my problem going home on a Sunday schedule. That's always the situation at the 44. And it happens a lot. Is my situation of getting off the rail at Christown and trying to transfer onto the 60. But it was. I hear some party atmosphere going on the patio at Bullock's. That's a good thing. So, oh my God, coughing up so much phlegm. So anyway, better out than in, I guess. So I saw that wasn't going to work, and I was kind of thinking to myself, okay, when's the next bus? Of course it's in 30 minutes. And then I noticed that, yeah, the bus was only leaving from Christown going west every 30 minutes, but wait, it gets worse. Only every other bus was going past 43rd Avenue. So if I was, so that bus was going, all the way to, it's not really relevant to me as I'm going here to 26th Avenue and Bullock's, but let's say I needed to get home to, say, 59th Avenue in Bethany, and I lived in Glendale. A lot of people live in that part of town that don't have cars. That is a pretty low-income part of town. Say that's where I was trying to get. I was trying to get a job somewhere over there. Yeah, that bus was going all the way to 83rd Avenue. But the bus that, but of course I'm not going to make that because it leaves 3 minutes before my train arrives. And it does take a little bit of time to walk from the train platform at Montebello over to the Christown park and ride where the bus stop is for the 60. So it's I can look at that and see I'm probably not going to make that transfer. I did, but that's a spoiler alert. I did, but I'll get to that how I did that in a minute. So, but you're probably not going to make that transfer the way it's scheduled. You shouldn't be able to make that transfer. It's absolutely asinine, but that's how it is. So the next bus that doesn't leave for another 30 minutes only goes to 43rd Avenue. The next bus that goes past 43rd Avenue isn't for another hour. So if I was trying to go to 59th Avenue in Bethany, an hour of sitting there waiting. Say nothing of how long it takes from point A to point B on the bus. I'm scheduled for an hour of waiting there. Really? Come on, Mayor Kate. And whoever the idiot is that's the mayor of Glendale. Mayor Kate, that transfer happens in your jurisdiction. Fix that there. And Glendale, really? Bethany home bus only running once an hour into your jurisdiction? Yeah, fix that as well. That's fucking ridiculous. God, so I'm just coughing so bad that run kicked my ass. So anyway, as I'm approaching damn, I kicked up so much phlegm. As I'm approaching, what do you call it? As I'm approaching Christown, like going around the corner there on the train at 19th and Camelback, I open up the app just to see if maybe, just maybe, I can get lucky and that bus going down Bethany is running late. Because the way the scheduling is on that bus leaves 4 minutes before the train arrives that you transfer to it from. But hey, if it's like 5 or 6 minutes late, or if the train arrives a couple minutes early, then I can do it, and I don't have to wait 30 minutes. And thank God I'm not going to Glendale, where I've got a whole waiting of a whole hour on the line. And I'm looking at the what do you call it? I'm looking at the real-time tracking, and the bus is already to the transit center, but he's just sitting there. He hasn't left yet. I'm thinking, well, maybe, just maybe, I'll be able to make this. And as the train pulls on the platform, I can see the bus sitting there waiting, and I'm like, okay, good, it's there. And I basically completely jaywalk across the intersection of 19th Avenue and Montebello. But I mean, all traffic stopped for whatever reason, so I mean, I'm not really darting in front of cars. Not that I wouldn't be willing to do that to make my transfer and not have to sit there for 30 minutes, but I didn't have to. Cars were all stopped. And as I hit the sidewalk on the southeast corner of the intersection, as I hit the southeast corner of the intersection, God, so much phlegm. And I'm like, I can see the bus. I'm right behind the bus. I'm almost there. And sure as shit, right at that moment, he pulls forward. I'm like frantically waving my arms. And I'm just thinking to myself, like, are these drivers really not aware that at that transit center, generally speaking, people are transferring from the rail to the bus because the rail doesn't take you where you need to go. You need to transfer to a bus to get there. And that's where that happens. Like, does it not occur to him that regardless of the stupid schedule that maybe he should watch in his mirrors to see, hey, are there people, is there a crowd of people, did a train just roll by? Is there a crowd of people walking my way from that train? Maybe they need to get off this bus because the next one going locally isn't for another 30 minutes. And then the next one that goes beyond 43rd Avenue isn't for another hour. Like, are these drivers even cognizant of this? Because, damn. So, well, there's so many fumes coming off that vehicle. It's disgusting. So, anyway, he, as soon as I see him pull off, I'm just like, fuck. So I turn around and dart back across the intersection. Oh, God. I need to be, that's a sign I just need to be jogging more often, because a 30-minute, a little over a quarter-mile jog, sprint, well, it's more of a sprint, shouldn't have me hacking and coughing for 30 minutes. Damn. But anyway, damn. Anyway, holy shit. So anyway, yeah, I turn around. I managed to sprint through the intersection. Didn't have to cut off any cars, but I wasn't really, I'm just kind of taking my life in my hands a little bit because I'm determined to catch this bus. Just right through the whole intersection, the 19th and Montebello, and then kind of through cars that are stopped at the light at Montebello, kind of weaving through them. I figure at this point, drivers in that part of town are used to crazy homeless people walking through them like that, so, whatever. Here's a crazy person who's trying to catch the damn bus, because I know you people aren't going to give me a ride. And, Holy shit. Anyway, yeah, so I'm sprinting up get across the intersection. I'm sprinting up the sidewalk on the west side of 19th Avenue, and I'm running hard, and I'm maybe about halfway. I want to say I'm a little over halfway to Bethany when I notice the bus passed me northbound. At that point, I'm looking to see, okay, what's he going to encounter? Shit. Fucking A. What's he going to encounter at that red light, you know? And he you know, because is he going to get stuck at it? Because maybe, just maybe, I can get to that intersection while he's still stuck waiting on a red left arrow, dart across it. Granted, I'm going to have to jaywalk against traffic, but jog across it and get to that next stop that he has, which is on Bethany Home, just west of 19th Avenue, in front of the hospital there. So I'm jogging in that direction. I see him and I'm thinking, well, I still got a pretty good, I'm actually past a jog. I'm in a pretty solid run. Like, oh, and I'm already feeling kind of winded, but I'm thinking, well, I got this. I can do this. But pissed that I have to do this to make this transfer. And also pissed that when there's a bus stop on 19th Avenue, just north, like just barely north of Montebello, in front of the Chase Bank there. And I bank at Chase Bank, so it's convenient, right? There is a stop there, but for whatever reason, the 60 does not stop at that stop. Only the 19 stops at that stop. Because honestly, if the 60 stopped at that stop, I could have easily made that transfer. I wouldn't even be trying to dart across a full intersection and two crosswalks. I could just go across the one crosswalk over half of 19th Avenue and just go to that bus stop. And it's like, oh, he's pulling out. Okay, he'll be around the roundabout and right over here in a minute. Awesome. That works. No, bus does not stop at that stop. Its next stop isn't, it's over a quarter mile away on Bethany. So I'm running, and I'm running, and the light starts to do its cycle as I'm approaching the crosswalk. And which is good, because the traffic that's going across, eastbound on Bethany, it's slowing down, it's stopping. So I'm like, cool, I can run in front of these people. But at this point, I'm very extremely cognizant of, as soon as the next thing in that cycle is the green left arrow, and that bus is right in the front of the left turn lane, so it's going. So I literally ran in front of the bus. And mind you, Bethany is really wide at that point, so I had a bunch of lanes to run in front of, and as he's turning across this big wide intersection, across the train tracks and left onto Bethany, I'm just flailing my arms in the air and running. At least the bus driver got the message, and maybe he did see me running down 19th Avenue, and maybe he did in fact see me in his mirrors as he pulled off out of the transit center, because right as he got, not even completely full through the intersection, mind you, he's in an accordion bus, but right as I got across the street, and I'm kind of trying to run to the stop, and I know I'm going to be able to get on, because there's enough people at that stop that look like they're genuinely waiting for the bus, that by the time he loaded all them, like, I would have managed to walk to the stop, since I made it across the intersection before he did. And of course, my presence caused it to take him a little bit longer to get across the intersection. But he stopped right when he got by me, and he pointed at me, and I just, like, are you trying to get on the bus? And I was like, nodded. I said, yes. And he opened the door and just let me get in right there. So thank you, driver. Kind of frustrated that, he's not, I don't know. I mean, he's probably, maybe he gets dock points if he doesn't leave that transit center right on time, but man, him leaving it right on time is a disservice to the people that ride that system, that are transferring from the train. Why is the timing so bad? Why isn't anybody evaluating this? So I make the transfer, and, I end up catching the bus, but I mean, I'm just hacking and wheezing, and I'm out of breath. He pulls up to the stop and gets everybody else on. and once again, like, he did not question me using a reduced pass, but one of the last person who got on, actually it wasn't at that stop, it was actually at the next stop. Person that got on, he asked for a reduced rate, and the guy's like, well, I need to see CID, and there's the next bus. It's been 30 minutes. I wasted 30 minutes anyway. Whatever, I just need to get this off my chest and hopefully stop coughing. He didn't, he asked that guy, if he had, oh, look, there goes Phoenix PD. I wonder if he'll do anything about all those homeless people in the alley that asked if I was recording. Like, what? You're in a public place. Everybody's recording. Deal with it. I didn't even answer them because there's way more of them than me, and those people are fucking crazy. All right. There's the cop. I think he sees all those people there. And yeah, he keeps rolling. He keeps rolling. So Phoenix PD obviously has no issues with all those people in the alley doing whatever it is they're doing in the alley that they shouldn't be doing in the alley. That's awesome. Our tax dollars at work. Anyway. So yeah, he and then the guy was like, well, dude, I'm 50, because I'm 52. Or he goes, I think he was at 51 years old. And the driver's like, well, I'm 52. I still have to pay full fare. Wow, bus drivers shouldn't have to pay fare at all. Throwing that out there. But yeah, I thought it was kind of funny once again that the driver called somebody out on reduced fare, but didn't call me out on reduced fare. And just for anybody thinking that's white privilege, that guy was white as well. So anyway, I'm done ranting. Holy crap, this went over 30 minutes. Just had to get all that off my chest. So it's going to be a little after 4:30 now. I don't know. I got enough time to be a little bit productive here at Bullock's. The important thing is, even if I just sit here and drink, I'm not being taunted by Priscilla's body that she is unilaterally decided that she doesn't want to share with me because I'm not feeling it. I'm not feeling being with you if you're not feeling it. Later.